We have learned how to perform addition and subtractions on Surds numbers. Now we want to learn how to multiply them together, and we are going to be applying the main law, the multiplication law of Surds, that says root AB is equals to root A, okay, multiplied by root B. So we have seen this while we're discussing in our second video on how to establish the rules of Surds, so this is not going to be new. So let's take quick questions on it. Let's begin with a very simple one. We have root 3 multiplied by root 6. Now if you apply the law of Surds here, this will give us root 3 multiplied by 6, and this will give us root 18. Now it is important that our final answer is in its basic form. When we perform Surd operations, our final answer should be in basic Surd. So let's convert this to basic Surd. This will be 9 multiplied by 2, and this will give us root 9 multiplied by, okay, let's begin down, root 9 multiplied by root 2, and this will give us 3 root 2. And in the same vein, let's use another method. Okay, let's solve it differently. We have root 3 multiplied by root 6. Now this root 6 in itself can be written as root 3 times 2. Therefore this will give us root 3 multiplied by root 3 multiplied by root 2. Now root 3 multiplied by root 3 is 3. So this will give us 3 root 2. Let's take another question. We have root 12 multiplied by root 3. Now root 12 multiplied by 3, we can take it further and say this is 12 multiplied by 3, and 12 multiplied by 3 is 36, and root 36 is equals to 6. All right, so we can see how these are playing out, and we can also try it in another format and say let's convert them to basic form, and this will be root 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by root 3. Now applying the multiplication law of Surds here, this will be root 4 multiplied by root 3 multiplied by root 3. Now root 4 is 2, root 3 multiplied by root 3 is equals to 3, and this will be 6. So we have 6 here and likewise 6 here. So let's take another question. Now this might be quite long, but it is very important for our understanding. So this question says root 2 multiplied by root 3 multiplied by root 5 multiplied by root 12 multiplied by root 45 and multiplied by root 50. Now yes, it is quite long, but it is necessary for us to understand how these things work. So let's combine them all together. Let's apply the rule of Surds to it. So this will be 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 45 and multiplied by 50. Now the best thing to do now is to group them in such a way that we will have squares of number. Now let's look at it. 2 multiplied by 50 will give me 100, and let me use some variations of pen. 2 multiplied by 50 will give me 100. Let's use the red now. I say 3 multiplied by 12 will give me 36, and eventually 5 multiplied by 45 will give me 225. So let's start with 5 multiplied by 45, and 2 multiplied by 50, and finally 3 multiplied by 12. So 2 multiplied by 50 now is 100, 3 multiplied by 12 is 36, 5 multiplied by 45 is 225. Now we can apply our rule of Surds now and split them. So this will be root 100 multiplied by root 36 multiplied by root 225. Now root 100 Let's rewrite our multiplication sign well. Root 100 is 10, root 36 is 6, and root 225 is 15. And this will give us 900. Two more questions. This should be question 4. Yes. Question 4. This is quite simple. Root 27 multiplied by root 50. Now we can first convert it to basic form as we have seen, and or we perform the operation law just like that. So you can pause the video and try this now. Root 27 multiplied by root 50. Now root 27 can be written as 9 multiplied by 3, and root 50 can also be written as 25 multiplied by 2 in its basic form. So in its basic form now we have root 9 multiplied by root 3 multiplied by root 25 multiplied by root 2. Root 9 is 3, root 25 is 5. Now the rule now is to multiply the rational numbers together and then the surd numbers together. All right, so we call them whole numbers. So this will be 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by root 3 multiplied by root 2. So 3 multiplied by 5 is 15, and we can perform the multiplication law of surds here, which states that root AB is equals to root A multiplied by root B. So when we do this, we have root 3 multiplied by 2, and this will be 15 multiplied by root 6, which is going to give us 15 root 6. And finally, we're given the question 2 root 5 raised to the power of 2. So root 5 raised to the power of 2, and when we know something is squared, we are saying that it is multiplied by itself. So just like we did before, we multiply the whole numbers, 2 multiplied by 2, and then we multiply the surds. So 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, and root 5 multiplied by root 5 is simply 5, because this will give me 5 times 5, and this will give me root 25, which is equals to 5. So this will give me 20. Now another simple way of performing this operation is by saying root 25, 2 root 5 squared. And now we are going to apply our law of indices that says a raised to the power, or a raised to the power x raised to the power of b, as the case may be, is equals to a raised to the power bx. Therefore, we are going to apply our laws of indices such that this becomes 2 squared multiplied by root 5 squared. 2 raised to the power 2 is 4. Root 5 raised to the power 2 is simply 5, because the square roots will be nullified by the square. So this will give us 20.